It's been a little bit since I've uploaded, but that just means I have more to share. I playtested my level a little bit and realized that I needed the zombies to be able to jump. In sections like this, I want them to just follow me over the gap. In the final version, there aren't going to be ramps. There will be a bottom walkway going from building to building with a fence on either side to keep the inmates in before the zombie outbreak happened, and to create choke points in the level. The ramps are representing a break in the fence where the player can jump over it, so in the final version of the level, the zombies won't be able to just walk around and cheat like they are now. I learned something new about Unreal this week. You can make blueprints out of Nav proxies, and for those of you who have no clue what that is, you first start out by placing something called a Nav Mesh. This is the green that you see. A Nav Mesh tells AI where they can walk. So if you don't see green, the AI, or zombies in my case, can't go there. Even with the Nav Mesh, the AI can still be pretty dumb, so you can add in a Nav proxy. You'll notice this AI refuses to come down to me, even though it's green. Adding in the Nav proxy and changing some settings can have it jump down to me. I thought this was the extent of what a Nav proxy could do, but it's not. You can make it into a blueprint and have it do other stuff, like tell AI to jump. There's also this really cool piece of code that's already in characters called launch character, and let's just say it does exactly what it sounds like. If I just set a timer here for 10 seconds, we can watch the zombie become a space zombie. With this and a little more code, I can make the zombie have a good little hop. Sticking with zombies, there has always been a bug since the beginning, pretty much. It wasn't a huge deal, but I was ready to get it fixed. No matter how close or far you were, the zombie would always play the attack animation. They're always swinging their right arm, even if nothing is there. I started learning about behavior trees and blackboards. I don't fully understand them yet, but I was able to follow a few tutorials and piece together a simple behavior tree for my zombies. If you look at it, it updates its target every second, the target being the player. Then if the zombie sees the player, it chases after the player, and once the zombie is within another range, it will attack the player and play the attack animation. Backtracking a little bit, if the zombie doesn't have the player within its radius, it will just stop and wait for the player to come back into its radius. With that, you should notice 3 zombie animations now: running, attacking, and dying. That is it for the zombie progress, so let's move on to the level progress now. I've been working on my 3D modeling skills. I'm not the greatest 3D modeler, and it's slow going for me, but I think I'm making some good progress. I started out modeling the walls for the prison. I decided to have the interior be red bricks and the exterior be like giant concrete walls. I decided to make the walls modular so I can place them in and connect them like Lego. After the wall, I worked on a wall with a window. That way the prisoners can see outside. Next was a wall with a hole. This piece will make more sense down the road. Next was a wall with a door, and the door is separate. And then finally, I made a corner piece. Now I know what you're thinking. Sean, these models are cool and all, but what about collision? And I've actually learned a lot this episode. I learned in Blender, if you set up the collision that you want with cubes, then change their name to UCX underscore and then the name of the model, Unreal recognizes that as collision and doesn't show it. So here's what my wall model looks like in Blender. You'll notice 2 extra planes covering up the model on either side, and here's the name. Then in Unreal, those planes aren't there and I can't walk through it. Now it's time to start placing in the walls. During this process, I followed my original building outline. I double stacked the walls because I want this prison to have 2 floors. I continued around the building and ran into a tricky section here. The building doesn't meet up exactly and doesn't turn at a 90-degree angle. So it looks a little funky right now, but I'm going to make some connector pieces to hopefully remedy this issue. With the walls in place, I better outlined what the interior of the prison will look like. I placed 1 zombie per cell and added the upper walkways. I have lots of rooms right now, and I want all of them to be accessible, but there needs to be a reason to go into that room. As a player, if I spend 100 points to open up a room that did nothing, I would be kind of upset. So I need some help thinking of ideas for reasons to go to rooms. The reasons I've thought of right now are to get a weapon, maybe you can set off a zombie trap, or it can have a wall with a hole in it for you to escape from. If you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments. That is about it for this episode. Next episode I'm going to continue working on the level, as well as trying to get the zombies to crouch.